to have sort of an avalanche or something, or a herd of wildebeest or something sort of rampaging upstairs. We shall see. But it's it'll be fun, I'm sure. So it's next up is Robin Cairns. So can you give him a big round of applause, Robin Cairns?
Right, if I catch anybody drawing, they're out that. Duffy asked for this one. Back in the space age, I had all the time. Man pushed for the stars, I sneaked into bars for an underage lager in line. Back in the space age, I got my own room, a capsule unique for £6 a week. Sandboy in the bed sitting glue. Houston had problems, I largely had none. Then I lost my wee job with this grocery mob on the Arran delivery run. Back in the space age, I signed on the dole. Weightless sensation, preferred occupation. Well, I quite fancy mission control. A proud USA spread the moon landing news. If I walked an inch taller, blame the platform shoes. 'Cause back in the space age, I was just a cadet, smoking a hookah, watching the snooker on a flickery black and white set. Now you didn't dare blink. The brown kissed the pink. Yeah, Lieutenant Uhuru snog Captain Cook. But I didn't come near to the final frontier till a girl from the bra factory showed me her work. Back in the space age, 6 beers for £1. Teenage romance, yes, this was a real dance. Tiger feet stuck in the ground. Now the space age is gone, human history's summit, and through endless modernity to splash down we plummet. Amazed that the scientists missed the futility in firing off rockets to seas of tranquility, with Woodstock and Vietnam raging below. A pointless war, a wasted revel, and the Rolling Stones sympathised with the devil. It was man who patted a yawn as the last helicopter quit Saigon. It was man who injected and snorted and drank as Hendrix raved and the toilets stank, and labour louts in grim northern towns spent the age spaced out as those moonstruck clowns. So maybe those scientists weren't so dumb, giving human concerns a wide berth, leaving ample employment for arseholes to come, to explore the dark side of the earth. Hey, H.P. Lovecraft, Laszlo Biro, Shand, Jimmy, Agnew, Spiro, Sid Charissa, Che Guevara, Red Adair, Scarlett O'Hara, Walter Cronkite, Bobby Darin, Max Boyce, James Joyce, Boy Named Sue, Jean Cocteau, Eureka Gagarin. I went the space age for you. Thank you. I've done that for 6 months. That's why I was warming up. I'm going to do I'll call that serious poem. I've seldom written a poem which doesn't have a laugh in it, I'm afraid. I failed to take things seriously enough. It's been a story of my life. But this is a serious poem. Did anyone watching telly late last night? There was a programme about Southern rock from the 70s. Yeah? It was wonderful. This is what my poem is about. I was planning to do this here tonight. Been doing it for the last few weeks. And in the mid-70s, a band came out of the Deep South, out of Alabama, the southern states of America. A band of redneck boys who tried too hard, fought too hard, and they were called Lynyrd Skynyrd. And they played a brutal, fast blues music with 3 guitars, you know. And there were about 10 of the guys on stage. The main singer was Ronnie Van Zant. They blazed a trail across Europe when they came and visited here, and they were super popular. They played all the stadiums and the festivals in America. In 1977, in a charter flight which had many of the band on board, though not all, about half the band were on board, the plane crashed. Van Zandt died, and 1 or 2 others of the key members of the band. One of the things about the Southern rock movement, as it was brought out in the programme last night, was how it was all about being tied in and celebrating where you came from. you know? Your own area, your own town, your own culture. And the poem that I wrote celebrates that too. I'm from Clydebank, which is a wee bit stuff outside Glasgow. It's not even outside the best bit of Glasgow. It's just it's the arsehole of the world, in fact. And this celebrates what it means to come from a dark, poor area, but also it goes into how toxic it can be to celebrate that. We shambled out, we three, Campbell, Fozzie, me, from the Skoda's eggy warmth of silent farts and Simon Bates, into council weather, an awkward shower, to play the tune that we once called Our. And we pressed through a wet hedge overgrown to the scrubland of half-bricks and bindweed and slates. In a Fijian ring we trod our own turf, 80-somethings, big cliffs bowed, tinny skinnered in a cracked cassette. When there's four in a gang, three's just a crowd. The one who could bend his hand right back so his thumbnail touched his wrist, and the one who could do a barn owl, hooding soft through a hollow hand, and the one who spoke like Fuzzy Bear when he ever got mildly pissed. But the one with the elbow that went the wrong way was the one who had said to just go there, just stand. If I leave here tomorrow, organs of Pompery, cheese grater strands, would you still remember me? Chunks of Blue Hammond, bundling drums. And we thought of our snottery stomping round cells, brimming crow with the brute independence of 10. And we thought of the first time you thought of a girl, and you gave her your first last rollo, and the plaint of the Van Sant vocal wailed, of the weakness for love which would grow us to men. And we thought of the tongue-tip spreading hole in the heart of a whale-suit polo. And we thought of the gloamings of Westburn gold, when we tested how high we could be. And we thought of the underwear catalogue snaps, the one with the elbow that went the wrong way. We said to just go and play Freebird one day, kept stashed in a bag up a tree. When none of us listened to Freebird in years, Goldtop Gibson showed and swarmed. Mrs. Gold from the prefabs still stood at her sink. Riff lines and memories built and stormed. There's a trebling yell in the triple guitars against all that is rational rails. Common sense crucified to a Marshall stack with clawhammer patents for nails. Then the drummer, I kid you not, Artemis Pyle, sprays this ruckus of clustering triples like air pellets shot in a speed limit sign with teenagers blazing and fortified wine. And we thought of the smooth giving way to the flaky sensation in Cadbury's ripples. And the riot of mischief that led us astray of the one with the elbow that went the wrong way when he fired at the golfers. 999. The trigger was his, the pistol was mine. When the one got arrested, we all paid the fine. And three of us took the lesson to heart, but to one all contrition was strange. And far and above the careering attack, the vocal insisted, I can't change. Who was stealing cars next? Not really stealing. He took the keys off the mantelpiece. It's a posh girl's party up in Bearsden. That and trying to outrun the police. The conveyor ran out of fuel and crashed. 5 dead, Van Zandt, Steve and Cassie Gaines. Now Leonard Skinner this is, the one with the elbow, never stole planes. Not that he wouldn't have tried, mind you, at free possibility. I mean, he did park a funeral hearse in the river. From there it was foot to the floor downhill in itchy amphetamine scrapes, and we thought of the slip-away grab of the grip in sweet Southern-comforted boys. There's a rammy and skip-time hammer on loops, the stippling tempo escapes, as the band tumor of whom totaled themselves seek release in the coming of noise. Aggravated honky-tonk, filigree density scales, for I must be travelling on now. The self-seeking soothe in the end prevails. So many places I've got to see. For the one, it was ever more adult, James. Yeah, I know it's an all-time anthem for solids with a conscious awareness of meat. How there's freedom and utter resistance to change. Well, the lyric never quite delves. It was only our song for a season or two, to the long hot summer of punk. Freebird was always a song for bands who were buried alive in themselves. Now the one who could bend his hand right back was something small, the gas board. And the one who could do an owl was junior paperclip counter or such. Fuzzy was probably signing on. 3 false ends and Freebird was gone, like the one with the elbow that went the wrong way and never amounted to much. A pile up of splintering feedback and thrash, cymbals soldered and molten in brash. Mrs. Galt sitting down, their statements and mash, and the one with the elbow, mash. The one with the elbow that went the wrong way. We said to just go play Freebird one day on the dump by the scheme where we all used to stay. Thank you. 2 more poems?
Oh, yeah, I think.
Two short ones?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Right, enough of all that. Back to the nonsense. I'm glad I was born before sex was invented. It makes for a mind pure and clean. And in contrast to some of the poets around, from me you'll hear nothing obscene. So if it is filth you came in for tonight, the shameless and smutty, I warn you, forget it. Madam, your lordship, young lady, young laddie, if it's sex that you're wanting, well, from me you won't get it. No, I won't be giving you stiffies tonight. Or starters, or hard-ons, or boners. You won't get tits and pulsing clits, all throbbing erected attention. No puffy nips, no undone zips, no throbbing cocks will be passing these lips. Not like in the so-called poetry of some people I could mention. Scrotums, fud-flaps, pubes and stonkers. You get plenty from pseudo-poetic plonkers who take their tedious kicks from curling their tongues round anything rude. And they're here tonight, the squalid bleeders, with their obvious rhymes, the bottom feeders, and half the things they go on about would put you off your food. The clusterfuck, the daisy chain, the sudden gush of yellow rain, running, gagging, weenie wagging, and you won't believe this one, teabagging. Things like that I shall not linger. Now you won't catch me with my eye at a crack, neither in at the front door or round the back, or squeezing between the bouncers in spunk-stained pole dancing bars. Young women exploited for men to ogle, slutting themselves, it's grotesque. Except when it's middle class girls doing it, that's different. That's burlesque. No, I'm not like those poets who debase their art with a camel toe and the fanny fart. Sloppy gobbles, buggers, handles, knob jockeys, nuns with candles, how sex makes their eyeballs loop the loop, and they wheeze like a dolphin, inhaling mustard, as the brain dissolves to cauliflower soup, and they come like a bicycle bump full of custard. Soapy titwank, fudge packing, tugging, frigging, dirty knacking. If you giggle along to their odious filth, their poems will never end. So stop it, all of you. Stop it right now. Yes, you. And your little friends. Disgusting little sweaty spots fixated upon the obscene. I'm glad I was born before sex was invented. It makes for a mind pure and clean. Thank you. I was listening to Radio 3 late one night, because I'm actually, despite being from Clydebank, I'm a class act, you know. I'm actually the poshest guy that ever came from Clydebank, by a long way. And I was listening to Radio 3, and the announcer said he's going to do something different. He's not going to play a piece of classical music, he's going to play something by Johnny Cash. He's going to play Boynings. And he did, on Radio 3 at 11 o'clock at night. It was really good. And I thought that's really indicative of the human spirit. We all specialise in our own little area, and every now and then we want to break out and do something different. And I wondered if Johnny Cash ever felt the same way. And I wrote this. Well, my daddy left home when I was 3, and he didn't leave much to ma and me, except the complete works of Mozart on long players. Now, I don't blame him because he run and hid, but the meanest thing that he ever did was before he left, he went and named me Amadeus. Now, he must have thought it was quite a gas, and he got a lot of laughs on the strings and brass, and the things they said to me were discourteous. Some trumpeted giggle, and I'd get embarrassed, and some fluted laugh, and I'd bust his areas. I tell you, life ain't easy for a boy named Amadeus. Well, I grew up fast and I grew up mean. My back got quick and my brains got keen. And I roamed the concert halls to hide my shame. But I made me a vow to the moon and stars that I'd search the world's conservatoires and conduct the man that gave me that awful name. It was Covent Garden, La Traviata, putting up with the jokes and the usual patter, rehearsing the orchestra from up on the dais. And there in the pit playing second fiddle, in a tux that looked like it came from Little, sat the dirty son of a beep that named me Amadeus. Well, I knew that musician was my own sweet dad from a worn-out record that my mother had. And I knew his vibrato and his fine bow technique too. He was slim and polished and quite refined, and towards that man my tongue inclined. My name is Amadeus. How do you do? Now you're gonna play. With a swish, I gave him some tough Vivaldi. Come on, give those four seasons loudy. But to my surprise, his arpeggios were ace. Then to pizzicato the old man off, I slung him some Rimsky-Korsakov in 5/4 time with some random jumps in pace. I tell you, I've worked with better fiddles, but exactly where is one of them riddles? He played that thing like the finest Stradivarius. And I reached for my handle, and he got there first. He says, I've been a hiding, but you know what's worse? I'm the son of a beep that named you Amadeus. He said, son, the orchestra's already 40, and a man's gonna fail if he's maybe and hearty. And I knew I wouldn't be there to make you highfalutin. So I give you that name before I quit, and I knew you'd turn out a Ponzi git. And did it work? Well, I tell you, you're darn tootin'. Well, I got all choked up and I threw down my stick, and he called me a son, and I called him a pa. And I came away with a different tune to play us. And I think about him the odd occasion when the orchestra gets a standing ovation. And if I ever have a son, I think I'm going to name him Wilhelm or Johann or Friedrich or anything but Amadeus. I still hate that name. Thank you. Good night.
Give it up for Eloquence! Well, we've reached the 2/3 point of the evening, and we're going to have another little break. So if you want to have a smoke and get another drink and all that, please do. And we'll be back with more Andrew Ferguson and more Duffy. And if you want to come along next month, we've got the wonderful Paula Varjak coming up from London, well, from Washington DC via Berlin and London, and she'll be up and giving you some very wonderful female poetry next time. So please come along to that. There's flyers on your table.